chaos in New Orleans.
No ICE, no truth!
As ICE takes over following President Trump's immigration crackdown. Stop Florida organizations feeling the burden of post-government shutdown.
Some of these organizations did see their funding reduced.
The tough choices made for survivors of domestic violence. Tesla under fire.
The trauma was, we all traumatized at this point.
An investigation underway after a home was left in shambles. And it's a fruity fiesta.
Share those, whether it's experiences or things, with other people.
Bringing together families and fun memories. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
And I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Today is Friday, December 5th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Talks to end the war in Ukraine take place locally. Russian President Vladimir Putin is reportedly planning to seize the Donbas region of Ukraine.
Yes, and he's informed the Indian media that Moscow will seize the Ukrainian territory by military action. Meanwhile, a suitable peace deal has yet to be reached between Ukraine and Russia. And yesterday, officials from Ukraine met U.S. negotiators down here in South Florida in Hallandale Beach to try and find a way forward. President Trump remains optimistic about a Russia-Ukraine peace deal.
Dozens of protesters were removed from a New Orleans City Council meeting after they disrupted it to rally against immigration enforcement. The Trump administration says New Orleans is just one of the many cities being targeted by ICE due to their large population of illegal aliens. ICE is seeking 5,000 or more arrests in what's known as Operation Catahoula Crunch.
We will suspend public comment if we cannot follow the rules.
The City Council has launched a new portal where people can report abuse or misconduct by federal officers.
And this morning, the U.S. continues to carry out airstrikes on suspected Venezuelan drug boats. The latest strike in the Eastern Pacific was confirmed in a social media post by the U.S. Southern Command. In the post, intelligence officials confirmed that the boat carried illegal drugs and was traveling through a narco-trafficking route. This strike adds to the nearly 24 attacks on boats across the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific Oceans.
The government shutdown ended, but its effects linger for many, including survivors of domestic violence. D.C. Bureau reporter Duvasana Duvisindio looks at how frozen federal funds and paused benefits forced some survivors to make impossible choices, and how organizations are coping with the fallout.
I spoke to many domestic violence advocates in South Florida and D.C. who tell me that the government shutdown left many organizations and survivors in a worse position than before.
You just can't turn away a survivor. You just can't do it.
Dr. Linda Parker is the president and CEO of Women in Distress, a domestic violence center in Broward County that provides shelter, legal counsel, a food pantry, and much more to survivors. Broward is one of many counties in Florida with the highest number of domestic violence cases, which meant Parker already had her hands full before the government shutdown. Now, the shelter is overflowing, partially because the federal government shutdown closed down grant offices that supported domestic violence organizations. Viviana Alvarado Pacheco is the Director of Research and Policy at the Women's Fund Miami-Dade, a nonprofit that helps women and girls in Miami-Dade through advocacy, research, and grant-making. She says cuts in funding for gender-based violence organizations has been an issue for years, and the shutdown made the problem worse.
Some of these organizations did see their funding reduced. They have to kind of either cut back on the services that they're providing or just not offer them at all.
Only 13% of the Women in Distress budget relies on government funding. The rest is city and county money, as well as money the organization raises separately. Another unexpected consequence was a pause in SNAP benefits. Survivors who once sought help suddenly came back for the food pantry and other resources. Parker says the last time this happened was during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We had survivors that were stabilized and then were calling us and saying, I have to go back because I have no job and I have to go back to the abuser now because I have to feed my kids.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, 4 out of every 10 women nationally say they've experienced violence at the hands of an intimate partner. In the nation's capital, the majority of calls that are made to the DC Victim Hotline are intimate partner violence. The most recent statistic showed a nearly 50% jump from the previous year.
It's anticipatorily devastating.
Joan Meyer is the director of the National Family Violence Law Center at George Washington University. The center uses research, legal legal advocacy and policy work to improve how courts respond to domestic violence and child abuse cases. Myers said another problem cropping up for domestic violence organizations on a national level is immigration. The Justice Department last month issued a new policy that said survivors have to prove their immigration status before receiving help from programs funded by the Violence Against Women Act, a law that for the past 30 years has served as a lifeline for victims of intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and stalking. With resources already strained because of the shutdown, Myers says that undocumented survivors are becoming less likely to get help, and that shouldn't be the case.
Whether or not they're legally in this country, if they're being abused, they need help, and it benefits nobody in any way to not provide that help.
For now, though, domestic violence organizations are experiencing a bit of relief with the end of the shutdown.
I think all the domestic violence organizations are waking up to the reality that they need to diversify their funding sources. They absolutely have to get serious about private funding, foundation funding, and individual major donors.
Meanwhile, Parker's plan with women in distress is to continue taking care of as many survivors as she can, even if there's another shutdown.
You can't be everything to everyone, but you try to make sure that you've shored up yourself enough so that you can weather the next storm.
Now, some organizations across the country are already starting to receive grant money, but a recent budget proposal by the White House cuts $128 million from the Office on Violence Against Women, leaving an uncertain future for domestic violence organizations, survivors, and resources. Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Duvasana Basindial, Caplin News.
And investigations are underway this morning after a fire destroyed a family home. This happened Tuesday near Orlando, and officials believe the fire was caused by a Tesla. West 2 News reporter Michelle Meredith has more.
The house the Rocky family called home is destroyed. Inside, not a whole lot to be salvaged. The garage completely gutted, a charred mess. Mina's prized Tesla burned to the point you almost can't tell it was a Tesla.
Just the trauma. The trauma was, we all traumatized at this point.
Mina Rocky says it started around 5 o'clock Tuesday morning in his Sanford home. Heard pop and crackling, walked into the garage, and says the bottom of his Tesla, which was in the garage charging at the time, was smoking.
I saw black smoke coming, like smoke coming out from everywhere.
Next, the frantic race to get his 4 children and wife out of the house.
I was not supposed to get out of the house.
His oldest daughter, Lily, was trying to do the same. She almost didn't make it, trying to find her brother.
After I walk in his room, that is where I lose all sight, hearing. I can't feel my body anymore.
Lily says she doesn't know how, but she managed to jump out of the second-story window. She landed on the screened-in porch and then managed to get down to the ground to safety. The rest of the family made it out safely as well. A Stanford police officer went back in to get their dog Leo. Mina says he's haunted by the look on Leo's face.
I saw him crying this is the last time. I'm glad he's out. He's not, then there's hope.
What caused the fire? A report Mina got from the Sanford Fire Department says the origin of the fire was found to be at or around the Tesla charging station in the garage. This is where the charging station used to be. The Tesla itself, which was towed outside of the garage, is a shell.
This is a note from my boyfriend when we first started dating.
Oh.
Yeah.
After the smoke cleared, Lily was able to save some simple things, cards, words of kindness from friends and loved ones. She also rescued a little statue of Jesus, but the way Lily sees it, he rescued her. Reporting from Seminole County in Sanford, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
A record-breaking track site could help us understand more about how dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Scientists documented more than 16,000 footprints in Bolivia, more than at any other site. The tracks were made by a 3-toed carnivore known as theropods, when the site was still a muddy shoreline. Researchers say this was a massive dinosaur freeway. That gives us more clues about how the giants moved millions of years ago.
And we're just a day away from an event World Cup fans have been waiting for.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We harvest a lot of different fruits, all organic, all amazing.
Fruit festivities open the season here in South Florida. Don't go away, Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Fruits and fun come together for an annual event in South Miami-Dade. JWM farm owner Matt Snow recently welcomed hundreds to the second annual Redlands Fruit Jamboree.
In addition to opening his doors, Snow led attendees on walking farm tour of this season's fruits. Caplin's Christopher Aveo has the story.
If you're a fruit fanatic who loves stocking up on delicious fruits, then the second annual Fruit Jamboree at the Redlands was where you can find your favorite tropical fruits. This year's Fruit Jamboree event began at 10:30 a.m. with a walking farm tour by farm owner Matt Snow. Matt is the owner of JWM Farm. It was purchased in 2013 and started as a tropical fruit flavored distillery for rums, but later transformed into a tropical fruit farm. Whether you're a diehard fruit lover or simply looking for a fun day out with friends and family, the Fruit Jamboree had fruit vendors for all ages, plus a corn hut stocked with buttery and rich, nutty flavored, locally grown Catalina avocados, Oro Negro avocados, and Hall avocados, three of the best eating avocados in the world.
Lyons Farms is one of the biggest farms around our area. It's about 4 miles down south. We harvest a lot of different fruits, all organic, all amazing. We have a lot of variety where we specialize in a lot of exotic fruits. Specifically turmeric, it's great for inflammation control. It's delicious in a lot of recipes. I personally recommend it.
JWM Farms invited a variety of food vendors serving up mouthwatering treats that showcase the very best of locally grown fruits. I spoke with Mina of Mina's Mangoes and Jabo's Fruit Trees.
I like to try to find things I'm really crazy about, passionate about, and share those, whether it's experiences or things, with other people. So when I found, mangoes and jaboticabas, I fell in love with those heavily. And I figured the best thing I should do is at least try to bring more awareness to the plants and how amazing they are and why everyone should at least grow some mangoes and jabos in their backyard.
From fresh fruit juices to tropical inspired dishes, Matt's Fruit Farm included loads of sweet MD2, pineapples, and black sapote, a chocolate pudding fruit that makes incredible bread pudding. Best of all, to add to the Fruit Jamboree atmosphere, live music set the mood with tunes that got you grooving. Whether you were here to shop, eat, dance, or just enjoy a vibrant community, Redlands Fruit Jamboree is the place to be this season. This was Christopher Aveo reporting from Caplin News.
And for the first time since Hurricane Milton blew holes through Tropicana Field's roof, the dome is sealed and dry once again. A calm storm season helped keep repairs ahead of schedule. City officials say they had never had to tap into the 30-day weather contingency built into the timeline. And the project is now moving forward toward full restoration.
We've got people working on painting the seats. The stadium lights are working. They're replacing electric.
Now, the total repair cost is approaching $16 million. With the roof secured, work now shifts inside. Crews are replacing ceiling tiles and lighting, repairing seats and the scoreboard, and rebuilding concession stands. They're also tackling the mold and mildew that developed during months of summer humidity and water intrusion.
It's all eyes on Washington, D.C. this morning as FIFA is set to host the World Cup draw, deciding matchups for the 48 nations teams that qualified. Games will be played across North America, and it'll be a star-studded show with Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Aaron Judge, and Shaquille O'Neal on stage. Plus, host Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum and Danny Ramirez add to the draw. 42 teams are already in, and 6 more will qualify in March. The draws follow strict ranking and regional rules, and the full schedule, including dates and host cities, drops tomorrow.
And that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.